नित्यानन्देश्वरसमारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरीमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome all the devotees, disciples, Samajis, Satsangis, Sri Mahants, Mahants, Tanedars, Kotaris, visitors, viewers, sitting with us through Nityananda TV, Sadhana TV, Ara TV, and two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha. Cities sitting with us in two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha. All over the world, Houston, Hosur, China, Trinidad, Hyderabad, Gupta Kashi, Singapore, Madurai, Dubai, London, Charlotte, Ohio, Los Angeles, Seattle, Phoenix, Oklahoma, Kuala Lumpur, Palm Desert, California, Chennai, Tiruvanmiyur, San Jose, Madurai, Oman, Sivagangai, St. Louis, Tirumala, Toronto, Tirukailayam, Dubai, and some more cities. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. I'll enter into the 8th verse of the Isavasya Upanishad. Please recite along with me. Saparyaka Chukram Akayam Avranam Asnaviram Shuddhamabhaviddam Kavirmanishi Paribu Swayambur Yata Tatya Tortan Vyadata Chatsvadibhya Samabhyaha. Saparyakat Chukramakayam Avranam Asnaviram Suddhamabhaviddam Kavir Manishi Paribu Swayambur Yadha Tatya Dortan Vyadadas Chat Vadibhya Samabhyaha. I'll read out the translation. Pure consciousness is all-pervasive, like space beyond the coming and going, absolute radiant and self-effulgent, unembodied, boundaryless whole, beyond the subtle body, woundless, muscleless, having no incompletion with the body, beyond grass body. Consciousness is the ever-pure space, devoid of the dirt of ignorance, beyond causal body, and is untouched by the delusion of incompletion. Consciousness is the all-knowing seer of all, past, present, future, the Lord of all minds. Consciousness transcends all beings. Consciousness is self-existent by itself, with its independent will and intelligence, having no cause for its happening. It is pure consciousness that from time eternal has enriched the ages and each being by ordaining desirable responsibilities unto them as per their nature and space, and their actions and results thereof. You need to read this translation again and again, at least 10 times. You have to read this at least 10 times. I'll tell the webmaster to upload it in the Facebook. All of you read at least 10 times. Put this as a status. Why I am asking? Because you will at least type once. While you type, you will read it. In this verse, Upanishads are declaring the quality of the consciousness. Please understand, you are given a direction. You are given a right direction. That's the right word I'll use. For your manana, contemplation, for your internalizing, you are given a conscious direction. What you are supposed to do to experience the ultimate consciousness is described in this verse. Pure consciousness is all-pervasive. Even the moment you meditate, you just know. You are something more than the body, because all pervasiveness, the amount you can experience, only that much you can visualize. Please understand. Physical things, for example, this seat, this asana, even if you don't experience what it is made of and how it feels, you can see it. You can grasp it. But the more and more things become subtle, it's the depth of your experience, how much you feel one with it, that much only you will know it. For example, physical, I already gave the example. You don't have to become one with this seat to see this seat or to use this seat, but a mental idea. You may need to become one with that idea to grasp the emotion and context behind that idea. Spiritually, how much you experience oneness with that idea, that much only you will even understand it. If there is a thought or a poetry about love, it's a thought. The level you experience that emotion, that much only you will understand those words uttered, the thought current. Otherwise, you will be like, that day I shared the story of Shiva sitting with Vandi and eating the roadside idli. One of my Swamis said the moral of the story is, even Mahadeva ate roadside idli. Eating roadside idli is not wrong. When you don't understand the emotion, this is the word, this is the meaning you will make for the words. Understand? How much you are able to grasp, that much only you will be able to experience. That's the beauty of the definition of consciousness by Upanishads. You can never make a statue out of what Upanishads declare as consciousness. You can never act as if you grasped without grasping. No. You can never make a mantra out of it. You can never form a dead ritual out of Upanishads. Any ritual you develop out of Upanishads has to be alive. I tell you, that is why Agamas are so alive. You can't make the Agamas dead. How much ever you try to kill them, again and again, we will happen and make it as alive. Agamas can never be dead. Nigama means Vedas. Agama means applied Vedas. User-friendly version of Vedas. Manual, how to use Vedas, is Agama. Please understand, pure consciousness is all-pervasive. Meditate on it. What is it? All-pervasive. Is it ocean? No. Even water is not all-pervasive. Is it air? No. Beyond the Valimandala, the air field, it's not all-pervasive. Then what is the all-pervasive? Space? No. Like space. Because even in our space only there are some few billion planets. But universe is much beyond. Few billion planets we have ever understood or imagined. Vyakta, avyakta, manifest and unmanifest. Manifested and unmanifested. Vyakta, avyakta. Manifest and unmanifest. Meditate on it. Meditate on it. Meditate on it. Pure consciousness is all-pervasive, beyond the coming and going, absolute radiant and self-effulgent, unembodied, boundaryless, whole. I am not teaching you theology light. I am not teaching you even how to live. I don't care about living. I care only about enlightenment. Please understand. I am very clear. I wanted to be branded as otherworldly guru. It's all about beyond what you know as life and death. It's all about enlightenment, the other world. Beyond. It's all about beyond even what we know as space. It's all about enlightenment, pure consciousness, uncompromising, pure consciousness. Please understand. Whether you want this or not is up to you. But if you decide to have me as a guru, then there is no question of compromising. If I am your guru, be very clear. I am here only to teach science of enlightenment. I don't care about the stupid life. I am not here to teach you living. I am here to teach enlightenment. Sometimes I use the word like a living also. But even that word, meaning of that word is breathing pure consciousness which is beyond body and mind. It is never small letter L-I-V-I-N-G. It is always capital letter L-I-V-I-N-G. Be very clear. I am not some stupid ashram where, oh, you learn little yoga, you learn little Vedanta, you develop your life, learn to love, laugh, smile, dance. No. I am a clear monastery where Upanishads and Agamas are lived. Where a strict celibacy is practiced. Where enlightenment is not only the first priority, the only priority. I think Upanishads are reminding us again and again with this verse. The context of this verse is, by defining consciousness, Upanishads are asking us to align ourselves again to the context. Pure consciousness is all-pervasive, beyond the coming and going, absolute radiant and self-effulgent, unembodied, boundaryless whole, beyond the subtle body, woundless, muscleless, having no incompletion with the body, beyond the grass body. Consciousness is the ever pure space, devoid of the dirt of ignorance, beyond the causal body, and is untouched by the delusion of incompletion. This description itself need to be meditated. I wanted that today's Vakyar Sadas should be held on what is the meaning of each of these words. Pure consciousness is all-pervasive. Then what is that all-pervasive? Beyond space. Earth is not all-pervasive. Water is not all-pervasive. Fire is not all-pervasive. Air is not all-pervasive. Even space is not all-pervasive. Then what is it? Subtler than the space, which is all-pervasive. Ability to visualize? No. There is so many tons of things which can't be visualized. There are so many things which can't even be thought about. Then what is pure consciousness? When you contemplate, you will have click. Please understand, every contemplation on pure consciousness will give you a click. That is consciousness for you. And if you further contemplate on it, you will have a better and deeper and subtler understanding and click. This clicks getting refined is spiritual growth. Spiritual growth means your ability to experience consciousness, your expertise in experiencing consciousness. Your expertise in experiencing enlightenment is spirituality, nothing else. The subtle mind with tremendous awareness, the whole blood flowing into the brain, what your brain can catch as the experience of consciousness, subtlety of that experience, your expertise in catching the experience of enlightenment, pure consciousness, that defines how much you have grown spiritually. Understand, your spiritual growth is not defined by whether you have become brahmachari or a swami or a kotari or a tanedar or a mahant. No. It is defined how much you can catch the experience of consciousness, your expertise, the ability of your brain's power, ability of your brain's expertise, the subtle grooves of your brains, its ability and expertise to catch the experience of consciousness. The experience of consciousness, that makes experience of that makes you spiritual. I tell you, all spiritual practices are just to develop that subtle brain grooves in you to catch the pure consciousness. Whether you sit in the banks of Ganga in silence in Haridwar, or you sit in the silence of Manikarnika, Mahasmashana in Varanasi, or you sit in the silence of Gomukh, Tapovan, understand, when your brain grooves, the subtle brain grooves, are able to catch the concept of consciousness, the spirituality is awakened in you. It's beyond body, mind. At least before death, you should catch the glimpse of what is consciousness. Please understand, the most subtlest concept or experience of consciousness you got when you were alive, that will only automatically open up when you leave the body. That's the greatest gift you can receive from a master. That is why I am insisting on all our devotees. If you have elderly parents above 60, the modern day above 60 means in waiting list for packing up. If you have elderly parents above 60, don't miss the chance of Varanasi Shivogam. Make sure they are there sitting in Shivogam in Varanasi, because the strongest glimpse of consciousness which their brain can withstand, their body can stand, they will have it in Shivogam process. That will be the greatest gift you can give it to your parents from the master. Many people, when they come and attend the program, they try to take the Rudraksha something from me as a gift to your family and friends and parents. I don't know about others. If you have parents above 60, do not miss. This is your responsibility. See to it they are sitting in Varanasi Shivoham. They catch the glimpse of what their brain can grasp. Understand, once you are above 60, lot of your time should be spent on grasping what is consciousness, the subtlety of the consciousness should be grasped. It's not that youngsters don't need to. Elders have to does not mean youngsters don't need to. Don't give your own meaning to my words. When I say elders have to, that's all. Youngsters also can, or after you become an elder, you have to. That's all. Then naturally, I'll be giving only energy sessions. Acharyas will be conducting the classes. The more you delay in our Sangha, any program, the more you lose my physical presence directly. That's all. That's the truth. The more you delay, the more you are going to learn from teachers. Pure consciousness is all-pervasive. Beyond the coming and going, absolute radiant and self-effulgent, unembodied, boundaryless whole, woundless, muscleless, having no incompletion with the body. Consciousness is the ever pure space, devoid of the dirt of ignorance. Today I wanted all of you to meditate only on the first line. Pure consciousness is all-pervasive, like space beyond the coming and going, absolute, radiant and self-effulgent. Just on this line, have Vakyartha Sadas. Have Vakyartha Sadas just on this line. Contemplate, contemplate, contemplate. Actually, if you catch the subtlest understanding about consciousness, you will just know it's you. You will start falling in love with it. You will know it is you. You will fall in love with only things which you feel as you are part of you, not anything else. Consciousness always stays itself. Only by itself. Meditate on the consciousness. Contemplate on this truth. Think morning, evening. Have Vakyartha Sadas about it. Whoever gives the most subtlest understanding about pure consciousness in today's Vakyartha Sadas, which is accepted by all, will receive my turban as a gift. Your head is worthy of this turban. Because all Vakyartha Sadas from the time immemorial was held only for imparting the subtle-most understanding and glimpse of consciousness. When you contemplate, what is it beyond space, out and in? What is that fills everything? What is it that makes everything run? What is it that is source of me? Even that subtlest contemplation gives you the click. The click you get is the level of your spiritual growth. Again, if you contemplate tomorrow, you will get a deeper click, understanding. Then better spiritual growth. This is the way the spiritual growth happens. Constantly. 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 I bless you all. Let you all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Advaita, the eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you. Be blissful.
Nityananda Dhyanapitham, Nityananda Nagar, off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bengaluru. Phone 08027279999. www.nityananda.org, www.youtube.com/lifeblissfoundation.